Hello. My name is Francesco, and I unfortunately just had to waste a piece of gum to record a podcast that no one's asking me to record, but I like to do anyway. So, I like to think of myself as very environmentally friendly, but up until that point, I was doing a pretty good job, and then I wasted the gum. I took 2 chews of a piece of gum. It was an Excel spearmint. No, not spearmint. Spearmint. Yeah, no, this is spearmint from a 7-Eleven. It says it's proven to remove stains and whiten teeth. That sounds like horse. Oh, okay. I don't want to call anyone out, but it's Excel white. Proven to remove stains and whiten teeth. And the directions say chew 2 pieces 4 times a day for 20 minutes. That seems like they just want me to buy a lot of gum, I have to say. Because what I normally do is chew 1 piece 1 time a day for 8 hours. Do you ever, chew a piece of gum so much to the point where, it starts, dissolving? Because that happens to me. That used to happen to me in high school all the time. I would chew, I was, a pack a day gum person in high school. I don't know why. And I didn't really get the cavities that you think I would have gotten from chewing a pack of gum a day. Also, what is gum? Is it okay, I'm going to read here are the ingredients of gum. Sorbitol, don't know what that is. Maltitol, not sure. Gum base, that's the only one that sounds like English. Glycerin, I think that's what they put in hand sanitizer. Sodium bicarbonate, I'm pretty sure that's baking soda. Ooh, turmeric. Brilliant Blue FCF. I'm pretty sure all of these cause cancer. Okay. Yikes. Anyway, enough of the gum interlude. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I believe this is episode number 33. Not to brag, 17 away from 50, which is halfway from 100, which is 1/10 of 1,000, which is 100,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000 or something like that. Listen, I don't know math that well. I never claimed to. If a requirement of me doing this was that I knew math, I would have never gotten involved. But yes, another week down. I hope everyone had a good week. Thinking back, I don't know that I did anything particularly fascinating this week, I do have to say. Except I was on the receiving end of a financial attack. Now, I think you could say that in this economic climate, we're all on the receiving end of a financial attack. But I think, when your enemy is inflation, it's who are we mad at? We can't really pinpoint okay, this person is who we're mad at. I think you can try different, leaders or whatever you can blame, but we really don't know who. It's a collective issue. See, this is me trying to sound smart. It's not really going well. But the perpetrator of my financial attack has a name. And she has red hair. She has little blue bows, I believe, in her hair. And her name is Wendy. And she has a restaurant named after herself. Now, I'm not getting mad at Wendy in particular. Again, she's just sort of the face of the company, so it's really easy to just kind of throw my hate onto her. But I'm sure Wendy's dad started the restaurant. So Wendy Senior, Wendell, this is for you. Can you please explain to me how when I pulled up to your establishment to the drive-thru to order a beverage, a Diet Coke, and just a Diet Coke, can you please explain to me why the lovely person at the checkout told me that the total would be $4.35? What? $4.35. Now, here's the thing. We've detailed, and by we I mean me, I've detailed extensively on this podcast the sizes at Wendy's. They are massive. You order a small, and they give you, at which most places is a medium and a half. Not quite a large, but more than what a medium is. a schmedium, a Marge. Like, I'm pretty sure because I'll be honest, I got an extra large Coke, obviously Diet Coke, and it was, I'm sure, probably like 2 liters, probably. I didn't actually do the math. Now, the cup was 2 liters. With the ice, you probably get like 4 sips, but regardless, they handed it to me, and it's $4.35. I said, of course I paid for it. I made no stink. I was like, thank you so much. Because obviously the person at the window does not make the prices, but like, that's a bit much. And I know that you could argue that, like, if I had a problem with the prices, like, I could just stop going up to Wendy's drive-thrus and getting no food and just the Diet Coke. But you know what? I think I figured out the issue. I just have to start getting like fries, a Frosty, maybe a burger if it's the time for it, so that the price is really like drowned out. Because if I order that along with other food and it's like $20, I'll be like, oh, okay, sure. I won't notice that the actual Diet Coke was $5. I love when we heal things here. We fix. I'm all about. I'm nothing if not a fixer. Speaking of things I am, I've been reflecting a lot. And by reflecting a lot, I mean watching a lot of TV, specifically reality TV. And you know how it says, like, at the bottom of, like, it'll be, like, someone's name, maybe their age, where they're from, and, like, what their job is. And I was sitting down on the couch watching TV, eating ice cream, sipping my $5 Diet Coke that I will continue to buy despite complaining. And really, a lot of those job titles, it's like, do you really do this? It's like business owner. Okay, like, what's your business? Photographer. Like, okay, what is your photography? So basically what I'm trying to say is I am a lot more than I think that I am. You know, we all know me as a podcaster, a citizen, an Olive Garden patron, a friend. To know him is to love him. You know, all that stuff. I'm many things, but I'm actually a lot more than I even thought, because a lot of these, what sound like fake business titles, are stuff that I could consider myself as well. Okay, again, photographer. I take pictures. I've taken a selfie before. I'm a photographer. Business owner. This podcast makes me absolutely no money, nor have I tried for it to make money, but like, it is technically a business. I'm a business owner. Intellectual property holder. I made the sign that if you're listening to this, you can see our cover art. I made that. That was me. So I'm also a graphic designer. I'm also a, you know how some people are registered nurses? There's a lot of different types of nurses. Nursing, a very important job. I don't know how people do it. So much respect and admiration there. I think it's one of the most important jobs, truly. But like, there are a couple of different types of nurses. There's like specific units of, or just specific fields of medicine have different nurses. And then there's just like a registered nurse. Now, I was thinking, I'm obviously not a registered nurse, but the other day I had a little cut on my toe that I put a Band-Aid on. Does that make me an unregistered nurse? I'm just saying, like, and I'm not to compare myself to the nurses who are literally like saving lives. I'm not at that level. Like, obviously, clearly. Do you like how I'm kind of in and out, like half joking, half like this is, you know, I'm really balancing this. I'm nothing if not. Hey, I'm a balancing act. What's the people at the circus who are like on the rope? I do that, but more metaphorically, because if I actually did that, I wouldn't be recording this because I would have fallen to my doom. But yeah, I'm an unregistered nurse. I've put on a Band-Aid. I think even for like other people, I've ran and got the first aid kit. I've taken a first aid course. Although really those courses are a little bit, like, are we really learning? Because you do, but like, am I going to remember this? I've talked about this. I think I even talked about this last week, how when I would take a test in school, I would remember all the stuff for the test. And then if I took that same test 2 hours later and didn't know I needed to take that test again, I would have forgotten everything. Like, it's like it's like a sci-fi movie. My brain gets wiped. I can't think of a specific example, but I feel like that happens in sci-fi movies. I'm sure it's happened in Star Wars. which is a movie I have not seen. Any of them. But yeah, I was like, you know what? Watching this TV show, I was like, I am so many things. But yeah, I was thinking, like, if there's registered nurses, are there unregistered nurses? And if so, am I that? Or is an unregistered nurse a nurse in nursing school trying to become a registered nurse before the licensing ceremony? Before they are registered? All I'm saying. Let's look into it. Or also, like, you know, like singer. I don't have a particularly good singing voice, but like I can sing. Runner. I can run. I don't do it often, but like when chased. You know what I mean? I just feel like, you know, now is the time to really reflect, you know, the beginning of the year, to really reflect and see like, hey, I'm more than I think I am. I really think I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a self-help book that they put in like the back, you know, the back of the bookstore. Like, have you ever been in a bookstore for too long? Like maybe you're waiting for someone to like go to like a doctor's appointment and you had to drive them, or you had to drive someone to the eye doctor because they were getting their pupils dilated so they can check and make sure everything's all good in there, because then when you walk out of the doctor's office, you see light and it's like your entire eye is full of light. Let's say you had to drive someone to that and you're like walking around the mall and the only interesting store is the bookstore, because it's like one of those malls that like they don't really have like the brand name stores. It's like, you know, knickknacks and stuff, like more of those types, like antique shops. So you're in the bookstore and you've looked through like fiction, new fiction, young adult fiction, non-fiction, and then you get to the back and it's like board games, calendars, magazines that you know no one's buying, and then you have that like random section like the self-help. I'm gonna write a book there that really you can be whatever you want to be. It doesn't, like, just because you say you're a singer, it doesn't mean you're a good singer, you know, but you are a singer. I feel like I'm going to create a lot of annoying people if they read that book. But, I mean, such is life. Speaking of things that I am, and also speaking of things that I am not, I woke up this morning, this very morning. This is not me. I feel like sometimes I have a bad concept of time. And I'll be like, oh yeah, 3 weeks ago, and it was like yesterday. Or I'll be like, I think like a couple years ago, and it was like yesterday. But today it was this date. I woke up and I was like, should I travel somewhere? Because what I am not at this point is a traveler. I've been actually nowhere. I've never left the continent. I've been stuck on North America, relatively stuck, more or less stuck, for my entire 22 years. But, and I'm fine with that, but I feel like I want to, you know, see the world, experience things, go to all-you-can-eat buffets, and I think that is something you can do when you travel. I really like the idea of traveling, because, again, the food. I've heard that the food in Europe, you can eat pasta and pizza, and it's not, they don't have the same like sort of chemicals that they have here. Now, as I've detailed on this podcast, I have no problem with the chemicals, but I feel like it would be a nice test to see if I get the same like stomach, gut issues, my gut flora, if I have a gut date, from like European flour, as opposed to the bleached flour that they have here. So yeah, I don't really have anyone to travel with is the problem. So I think, do I just go at it alone? Do I do like eat, pray, love? But more like eat, eat, eat. You know what I mean? I could go to like, where's their food? I would definitely have to go to Lizzie's house, Buckingham Palace, just to say hi. I'm sure she would invite, oh wait, no, she's dead. I forget, I'm in denial. Queen Chip could invite me in for tea. We could listen to all the episodes of the podcast where we've said negative things about his family. Or do you know what? Do you know who would let me in? Meghan Markle. I could meet her at the back gate and she'd be like, come on in. Although I don't know that she still lives there. Maybe they'll be in town for like an event or something, and then we can meet up. But I could go there. I feel like I'd have to go to Italy, you know, just to test the flour theory for science, for my gut flora and for science. But yeah, I don't know where else I could go. Maybe I could go to... See, I plan all this in my head, and then I Google like the price of all of this, and then I unplan all of this. So unfortunately, I don't think like maybe the next episode is going to be live from a different continent. It's probably not. It'll be intercontinental for a little bit. But then maybe in like a year or two, we'll go international. And then we'll have concrete footage of the day that I had this brilliant idea. Although I don't know the safety protocol. Like, is it safe to travel alone? Should I hire someone from Craigslist to come with me? Should I find another person with, not a plethora of friends? I don't know. These are just questions. Again, I ask the questions. I don't always have the answers, but I always have the questions. Not to brag. Oh, speaking of bragging, I am the proud owner of a Fiji water bottle. Now, if anyone does not know the significance of a Fiji water bottle, let me just tell you this. It is a marker of success. It is a marker of wealth. It is a marker of social status. Basically, it is... Now, for anyone that's confused, it is not a reusable water bottle that I bought from Fiji. I feel like those are always popular. They had the ones that were shaped like a bottle. Like the ones that were shaped... what were they called? Like, it started with an S. It was like, not slow. What was it called? Swell. The Swell water bottles, not sponsored. Those are very popular. And then it went to the Hydro Flask. And then it went to the... there was another one in the middle there. The Yeti. I have not participated in any of these. But the other day, I was at an event. And I was given an event as if I was, I'm very high in demand. I was at a conference. And they gave me a Fiji water. And I was like, what? This is a Fiji water. Now, a Fiji water is the rich people version of a plastic water bottle. So it is basically like, if you think smart water, but international. Now, I am unsure if the water actually comes from Fiji. I don't know if it is if it's a lie, if it's a trick, but I was falling for it. Now, I normally do very trashy food reviews on here, so to get to review something that is actually classy and of taste is a really exciting opportunity, and one that I don't want you to get used to, because I'm not, in high society just about yet, but I lived there while I was drinking the Fiji water, so I'm going to report my findings. I'm going to be 100% honest. It tasted like tap water. I was a little bit confused. I was starting to think that maybe the whole Fiji water aesthetic was a placebo. Like, they wanted you to drink it and think that, like, oh, isn't this water so good? When really it's, like, just from the tap. Like, maybe it's a trick. But I don't know. There's something about holding that, like, square bottle with the flower on it that made me... Again, I just felt rich. I've never had a smart water. Maybe that's the one I try next. Maybe that makes you feel smarter, but Fiji just made me feel like rich. And you could be listening to this and saying, why are you using a plastic bottle? That's wasteful, that is harmful to the environment, which are claims that are all true. However, since I was so excited about drinking the Fiji water, I have not thrown out the bottle. I have reused it. So I'm putting tap water into the Fiji water bottle. So people think that I'm drinking Fiji water, when joke's on them, I was drinking one Fiji water that was free, and now I'm just drinking free tap water. But I look like I'm fancy. And next, I'm going to take it to work and then just leave it on my desk so that people know this guy's drinking Fiji water. And then I'm going to do another scientific study where I see if having the Fiji water halo around me affects how I think I'm being addressed. I'm going to be real honest with you here. Some weeks I have something to talk about, and some weeks I don't. If you haven't noticed, this is a no week. Last week was a good one. I think I did a book review. I did something else I did. It was good. It was pretty good. This week, I'm going to be not so much. But it's consistency, okay? The only thing I promise is consistency. So sometimes when it's like I'm talking about Fiji water for 5 minutes and there's not really a point, like sometimes you have to sit through that to get like a good episode where I'm reviewing Prince Harry's book. But like Prince Harry doesn't release books every week for me to review. So there will be points where it gets a little monotonous of me talking about different brands of tap water. But I actually, like, real deal, I think that could be a segment, me reviewing tap water. Because you know what one I want to try? I really want to try the one that comes in a glass bottle. Because that I can drink, I can review, I can publicly promote, and I won't have Greta Thunberg come after me. That's my biggest fear in life. You know how people have, like, bucket lists? I have the opposite of that. I have, like, things that I don't want to happen before I die, and being yelled at by Greta Thunberg, even if it's rightfully so, even honestly more so if it's rightfully so, is number one on the list. Don't want to mess with her. She's a woman of the people, the people's princess. Also, other thing on my reverse bucket list, eating escargot. I don't want to do that. Even if I'm alone in France. First of all, respect to the French people. I believe escargot is French. If that's your thing, that's beautiful. I'm rooting for you. Keep going. Like, you got this. You probably won't eat half the stuff I eat. Actually, probably more than half. I found a rogue bag of Doritos the other day. Like, a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos that I didn't know I had. And it was like the best day of my life. But sorry, yes, back to the French. They probably wouldn't eat Cool Ranch Doritos. I respect it if that's your thing, but I don't want to do it. I've reflected recently, like, am I a picky eater? Because I'm not really a picky eater. Like, I'll eat anything. I really will eat anything. But the only things that I won't eat are things that were alive. I'll try anything once, no matter how gross it looks, smells, appears. Because sometimes something looks disgusting, and then you eat it, and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. So I'll try anything once, but unless it was, like, alive. Like, I'm not going to eat, like, a snail or, like, honestly, I don't know that I would ever try lamb or, like, bunny. It's a little bit Easter bunny-y, you know? It's like, oh, that's sad. Although, I say that, but then I feel bad for chickens who are delicious, but I would eat. Like cows. Like, what's the difference between a cow and a snail? Like, they're both animals. Like, why are we okay with eating one and not the other? They kind of got the raw end of the deal. Not as raw, no pun intended, not as raw as the deal that fish got. Because there are people that don't eat meat, but then will eat fish. So it's like, fish are probably in the water, like, what the hell? Why will people eat us, but then still call themselves, or not vegetarians? It's like pescatarian. Like, there's a whole term for people that who will save people of your kind, but not you. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just something to think about. Again, I don't have the answers to these questions. I just have the questions. Oh, also, before I forget, I would like to reveal a personal anecdote, really a personal story. I would like to share. It's an update, but it's like a positive update. Okay, so about 3 years ago, the summer of 2020, which is nuts that was 3 years ago, but about 3 years ago, I had a summer affair with lemon pepper. I don't know if anyone doesn't know, lemon pepper is a seasoning that's half pepper, half lemon. I don't know if it's like, it's not zest. I think maybe there's some do have lemon zest, but it's like lemon seasoning and pepper. Probably a little bit more lemon than pepper, but it's lemon pepper. I was putting it on everything. Avocado toast. I've made avocado toast exactly one time in my life, maybe two. 3 or 4 at the 5 at the max. And I put lemon pepper on it pretty much every time, because that was the same summer that I was eating avocado toast. It was the lemon pepper seasoning time. Loved it. It got to a point where I was eating so much lemon pepper that when I went to do a bowel movement, especially liquid bowel movements, there were specks of lemon pepper in what was being produced. Quick side note, I've noticed recently, I might have talked about this in a past episode, but I've noticed recently it's getting more acceptable to talk about your bowel movements in public, like talking about IBS and like diarrhea and constipation. Now, this is something that I don't want to say I started, because realistically, if I think about it, I don't think enough people know me or have experienced me for me to affect like global change, because I feel this is a global change into being more accepting about talking about our diarrhea. But I have been talking about my diarrhea so often to people that I just met for like years. Like, since, like, elementary school, like, I would talk about diarrhea. And this was I can't remember why we started talking about this, but this is my reasoning behind it. There are only so many things that almost every single person can relate on. I think there's more things than we think that there are, but in the grand scheme of everything, you know, everyone's lives are different. Everyone experiences different things. Everyone experiences things differently. But really, like, everybody has had diarrhea. I don't want to say everybody, but the majority of people have had diarrhea, I assume. It hurts, it burns, it sucks. Why can't we all use that common hatred of diarrhea and grow together by it? You know? Like, can't we bond from our hatred of diarrhea? Like, why are we letting it divide us? By you know, someone talking about it and someone else being like, ew, that's gross. Like, we should all just be like, yeah, we have diarrhea and it sucks. And I think we're getting there. And I had absolutely nothing to do with it, but I would just like to say that I was doing it first. All of that to say is I was pooping lemon pepper. So I really had to stop. Like, do you know when you throw up from something and then what made you throw up, like, you can't touch for a while? It was that, except it didn't come upward, it came downward, if you know what I'm saying. So a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I think I need to try again, because I hadn't touched it in years, and it wasn't that hard to avoid. Like, it was not like people were offering me lemon pepper, and I had to be like, no. It was something that I had made peace with the fact that it made me feel a little bit diarrhea-y when I thought about it, because I had linked via Pavlov's dog, or whatever his name is, lemon pepper with diarrhea. And I was sad about it because I did love it. A couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try again. The other day, I went to the store, sprinkled the lemon pepper on what I was eating, on my chicken. I did that out. I bought it. There was a couple steps in between. I didn't just open chicken in the store and sprinkle lemon pepper. I, like, paid for it, got on my card, bought the chicken, cooked the chicken. It wasn't raw. Like, I did, it was in the natural order of things. I put it on, and we're perfect. We're good. We're golden. It didn't make me want to yarf. It didn't make me want to diarrhea. Although I guess something can't make you want diarrhea. It's not really how it works. But it was perfect. So I would like to formally announce that me and lemon pepper are back together. I'm sure the world felt a shift. They felt like there was something off, and we're coming back together. The world is healing. I really feel like we're healing. Economically, maybe not so much. You know, it's kind of like whack-a-mole. I feel like once we kind of solve one problem, another one pops up. It was like, okay, COVID, done. Well, not done, but like we're getting there. We're on the right track. And then it was like inflation. Whew. So I'm scared when inflation dies down, like what the next thing is. But what the next thing is not going to be is my inability to eat lemon pepper. And that I have to be grateful for. I have no other choice. And I think that's a pretty good place to leave off. I'm going to be honest, as I said in the middle there, sometimes I turn off my fancy recording equipment, aka my iPhone, and I think, you know what, I really did it. I really, we're getting to where we need to be. I can't say that today was one of these days. Luckily, only 4 people listen to this. I'm going to do my weekly reminder that I know that no one cares. Like, I'm not delusional enough to think someone cares. I'm just delusional enough to continue posting these episodes when I know that no one cares. It's a very different thing. Don't confuse the two. But yes, my weekly reminder, I know no one cares. I know no one listens to this. And seeing, that there's 4 listeners each week, which I'm pretty sure 2 of them, maybe 3, are me, like, testing the episodes to make sure that they're uploading. That knowledge, that data does help when it is one of these episodes where I'm like, I literally talked about nothing but diarrhea. But again, consistency. We're getting consistently, But if anyone was listening to this, I want to thank you for spending your time with me each week, or at least this week, or a week, whatever week you're listening to this. If it's in 2026, I thank you as well. I hope we've made it there as a nation. And yeah, you can find me, well, us, but me, at podcast, nobody asked for this, .podbean.com. That's Podbean, PODBEAN.com. I don't know why they named their website that, but that was not my choosing. It was just the server, the provider that we use. Again, I'm saying we, it's literally just me. Also, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Different usernames on each of those, but if you go to our website, again, podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com, you can see where to find us. You can listen to the episodes on there. You can not listen to the episodes on there if you get to the website and decide it's weird and you don't want to. Whatever works, as long as you put the effort towards and give us that download, that click onto the website, that works for me. And yeah, again, I thank you. I hope to see you next week. I'm going to try and think of actual material next week. Hopefully something passes through. I can channel something. But yeah, until then, I'm just going to be sipping my tap water in the Fiji bottle. Maybe I'll invest in maybe a glass one. Ooh, if anyone wants to get me for Christmas, because you have a year to plan it, so I think this is the perfect time to ask for Christmas gifts. If anyone wants to get me a Fiji water bottle, but a reusable Fiji water bottle, a glass Fiji water bottle, that would be ideal. I think that would work for me, and I think that they should sell those. So again, free idea to the makers of Fiji. I'll just give them a text, maybe give them an email. We can get their attention. I will be taking 10%, of course. Obviously, I don't work for free. But yeah, have a great week. We'll see you next week. Thank you.